Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you some of the techniques that I have been using for years to help me reduce stress, fall asleep quickly, and fall back asleep quickly. So it all started 15 years ago when I learned about Hypnobabies, which is a self-hypnosis program to help women give birth naturally without stress, fear, and even medical interventions like epidural. The goal at the time for me is to be able to experience the birthing process calmly and in a very positive way. So I've used Hypnobabies, the self-hypnosis techniques, to give birth for both my first and second child. I can actually make another video about the details. So a little disclaimer, this video is not sponsored by a product. I'm not trying to teach everything about Hypnobabies because first of all, I don't remember everything, and second of all, it's definitely copyright, and what I'm trying to do here is just use what I remember and bind them with my other techniques that can help you fall back asleep. So I'm really excited to share those techniques with you and really hoping that those will help you as well. Okay, so the first technique is switch on and off. This is a technique that you have to practice for a little bit before you master it, but it's very simple. So basically imagine yourself, your body, including your mind, it's a machine, and there's a switch button. It could be anything, you could kind of use your finger or you can wiggle your toes. The idea here is that whenever you turn that switch off, your body goes into a shutdown mode. So shutdown doesn't mean that your body's gonna stop functioning, right? So you would still breathing normally, your heart's still beating, but your muscles will be shut down. Find a comfortable position, you lay down, imagine that you're gonna switch that button off. Now, let's say you feel itchy or you gotta turn or find another position, absolutely fine. But before you do that, you have to switch on. So whatever cue you use, now as soon as it's back on, you can get up to pee, you can stretch, you can scratch, whatever you want to do. But when you get back to your comfortable position on the bed and about to fall asleep, you have to switch off again. And you're not going to move, okay? And just lie still, relaxed, and drop. So that's the first technique. The second technique is always make sure you're exhaling twice as long. So for example, if I inhale at 1, 2, 3, 4, then my exhale would take 8 count. And it has to be really slow, like imagine you are blowing a balloon to maybe this size, right? That's how much you inhaled. Then when you exhale, you're not gonna like squeeze all the air out. I mean, you probably do that when you're running or you're swimming, but when we talk about falling asleep or going into deep relaxation, then you have to let the air out very slowly. When you exhale, you want the air to go through a small tunnel and take twice as long to exhale all the air. Okay, so I'm gonna do a deep breath on a count of 4. Now I'm holding my breath, but when I exhale, I want to count to 8. So I actually inhale much longer. I think twice is the minimum. Sometimes I took 3 times longer. You're trying to squeeze out every single bit of air from that balloon, right? And then after that, it's perfectly fine if you want to take smaller, shallow breaths in between the deep breaths. That's totally fine. Like whatever makes you feel comfortable again. But when you're ready, let's say you're breathing normally again. Now, you want to practice that big exhale again. They don't have to be consecutive, but whenever you can for a few times at least. Okay, so that's the second technique. So the third technique, there are some verbal cues that you can have in your mind that I learned from Hypnobabies. I still remember them and I incorporate that into my whole fall back asleep sort of process. Whenever you exhale, like when you're in that position trying to fall back asleep, I'm sure there are a ton of things going on in your mind, like you can't stop thinking about. And in that situation, just remember, so every time you exhale, the thoughts will flow out as well. So that's kind of a cue for you to kind of imagine and help you clear your mind. So you have to let those thoughts out. And sometimes it's like, don't think about a pink elephant and the first thing in your mind is the pink elephant, right? So instead of telling yourself, don't think about this, don't think about that, you just close your eyes, do the breathing, and every time you exhale, tell yourself that I'm breathing out my thoughts. Okay, so that's the first verbal cue. The next set of verbal cues have 3 stages. The first one is the word relax. So imagine yourself are floating on water, and imagine you're a fish that you don't need to breathe outside of water. So when you say relax or give yourself the cue relax, you start sinking into the water peacefully. So don't panic. Like if you are afraid of water, maybe think of yourself floating or lying on a piece of cloud, and relax, just let you sink deeper into the cloud or your comfortable mattress. You're going to drop your body, relax even more. While you're doing this, give yourself a little bit time, and after you tell yourself to relax, continue to breathe slowly, especially exhale. That's the key. And remember, all this time you should stay in the off position, which means you're not going to move, and allow yourself to go into that state of relaxation. So after you're feeling you're quite relaxed, what if you want to go deeper? Yes, you should, right? And what if you haven't fallen asleep yet? I hope by this time you already fall asleep without knowing it. But sometimes it may take longer, which is fine. In fact, sometimes it takes me several iterations until I fall asleep. Okay, so the next cue is release. So release is even more powerful verbal cue, and it's the next level above relax. And so when you tell yourself release, imagine your muscles are loosened out. After that, you might still feel a little numbing sensation in your fingers, your hands, your toes, because you're already in a much deeper relaxation than before. And I can guarantee you by this time, probably most of you would already fall asleep, and that's the case for me. Like sometimes I couldn't even get to the last level, and I would just fall asleep right here. But let's say I start to feel awake or like thoughts come back to your mind again, feel free to take a pause and rewind. Go back to the very beginning. Go back to the first technique. Go back to the second technique. And then slowly get back to this stage if you can. And in this stage, you shouldn't be thinking of anything. You should just be laying there, close your eyes. You may not fall asleep yet. And you may feel numbness on your fingers and toes and body. And that is perfect. That's what we need. So for the next level, the verbal cue to get you into, I would say, like the deepest relaxation would be peace. And every time just by saying that word, peace, I just feel like I'm completely relaxed. And so when you say peace, remember you're supposed to be going into the deepest level of relaxation. And so you should really feel numbness throughout your body, and you shouldn't have anything in your mind. You're already relaxed through the previous stages. And whenever you get to this stage, you are very close to falling asleep. And if you just stay there, like give yourself the patience, you will fall asleep in no time. Trust me. And like I said, if for some reason your mind is so strong that you feel like you're not relaxed enough or get into that hypnotized state, feel free to start over from the beginning. Keep practicing them. It's okay if you have to do it multiple times. Through practicing these consistently, you'll be able to master these techniques. Okay, so I really hope that this video is helpful to you. And if you like my content, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, where I'll continue to share more of experiences that I have. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time.